84% of the weaponry on display in this military parade is going to be brand new and not seen before by the world. What message is that sending out, indeed, to the world?
Good morning. First of all, I'm not so sure about that claim. There won't be too many surprises about the military equipment being on display here for military analysts. But secondly, what the message is, there's two major messages really. One internally to the domestic population in China, that the Communist Party of China is in control, that President Xi Jinping is in control, and his ability to project power throughout China is still very strong. That's an important message for China, within China. Externally, the message to its neighbours internationally is certainly that China is now a serious force to be reckoned with. The military systems that will be displayed will encompass a number of major developments for Chinese defence industry, and these will show that China has the capability, modern capabilities, to project its power, to deter and respond to any threat that it perceives. And that is a serious, these are serious capabilities that China has developed, and this will be a strong message to certainly to China's neighbours in the Asian region.
Well, they've developed all this. It all looks very good, is it?
Well, China has made a number of great advances in its defence industry over the last two decades, certainly the last decade. And these capabilities are mainly in areas such as missiles, land systems, developing mission systems, and these are now of world standard, world class. Certainly the missile systems that China has developed over the past decade will be of high interest today in the parade. Missile systems such as short and medium range ballistic missiles, anti-ship ballistic missiles, submarine launched ballistic missiles. These are all very important capabilities that China has developed, and these are of world-class capabilities, make no doubt, and that does present a risk within the Asia-Pacific region.
John, how will Washington view all this? How closely are they monitoring these events there in Tiananmen Square?
Oh, well, they'll be watching very closely, and China knows that the US will be watching very closely, of course, and for the reasons I've just explained. You know, analysts in Washington certainly will be looking, in terms of the military capabilities that will be on show today, they'll be looking at things like the contours and the dimensions of the missiles, looking to understand the speed, the precision, the survivability, the mobility of these missile systems, to gauge an understanding really of the real capability of China's military. You know, there is very little open source information about this capability, and so a parade like today gives analysts in Washington an opportunity to gain an insight into how far China's military capabilities have grown and have become in the last 2 decades. It's an important day in that regard, because open source information about these capabilities it doesn't exist to some degree, and so to that degree it's an important occasion.
John, we've just been seeing some UAVs or unmanned aerial vehicles there, or drones, showing off some of that kit while you've been talking. But moving now to actually sending this message of peace, which is what we have at the moment, Xi Jinping making this speech. It's a bit of an irony, isn't it, doing it on the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II, one where Japan was defeated, of course, and it seems to be one of its, well, obviously one of its big regional rivals.
Yes, I mean, you know, as far as China is concerned, as your reports have suggested, you know, it owns 80%, or it claims it owns 80% of the South China Sea and vast sections of the East China Sea. So the message of peace is very much one that, you know, as long as everyone in the region agrees to China's claimed territory. And of course, that is not the case. Countries such as Japan, the Philippines, Vietnam, and other countries in the region all have claims to the same territory that China has. And so in the context of that, and in the context of the military capabilities that are being developed and on show today, you know, there is a risk. You know, we have a number of countries making claims to the same territory, China saying it's ours, and of course, if other countries agree to China's claims, then that's where President Xi Jinping is making reference to the peace. There will be peace, but the problems will arise when countries dispute those claims, and at the moment, those countries are disputing those claims.
Just, John, I want to just get you some of the headlines that's coming through from this speech at the moment. Reassuring words, as you expected, that China would never seek hegemony or expansion here. But they're also going to be cutting military personnel by 300,000, making that announcement on a day where we've got this gigantic military parade taking place. So he is trying to back up his words of peace with some action, it would seem.
Well, you know, the reduction in the size of the People's Liberation Army will be mainly in the land forces. And that's significant because we're seeing, in ITIS, James, we're seeing significant investment in maritime and air capability. And that doesn't necessarily mean boots on the ground. That means investment in capabilities, in mission systems, in equipment. And so that is where the investment is going. It may mean, yes, that there are less boots on the ground, certainly on the land forces, but that investment is being redirected into the air and to the maritime capability and the development of those capabilities. And that underscores this China's priority of securing its claimed territory. You know, the maritime and air capabilities are of paramount importance in terms of securing that offshore territory. So these claims by President Xi Jinping are correct, but there is another side to those claims as well.